Hobbs and Shaw. We just got out from seeing it, and we're going to talk about it in just a second. Here we go.
Boy reviews.
If he dies, he dies.
All right, like I said, we saw Hobbs and Shaw in IMAX because we are both AMC A-list members.
A-list.
Where we can see any movie 3 times a week. It is glorious. And for me, it's been a few weeks since I've seen a movie with that, so I'm glad to use it.
A couple weeks for me, too.
But let's get into it. Hobbs and Shaw. It's a Fast and Furious Presents, so it's a spin-off. It's got those characters that were introduced earlier in the Fast and Furious series. And this movie, for me, it played a lot like a Fast and Furious movie. But also, in a lot of ways, it was different than a Fast and Furious movie. But definitely in that realm. It was shiny. It was sleek. It was entertaining. It was very, very fast. And, you know, like I said before, like you had used earlier, it was entertaining for me. What'd you think of it?
I would give it was sheer entertainment. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of plot holes, things you can question. But that's something you go watch to this movie. If you've seen the preview and you were interested in the movie, you weren't interested in the deep storyline. You're interested in the action, and that's what this movie delivered.
Yeah,
those are explosions.
He knows me well. Once again, this is my brother Chris.
How you doing?
I'm Nick for Boring Reviews, and so he said it perfectly. With Fast and the Furious, they get away with the plot holes, with the fact that there can be a room of 30 bad guys and 2 good guys that aren't armed, and they all just will wait there on set. I can only imagine what it looks like until they come and hit me in the face. I can do nothing. But we've accepted that from Fast and the Furious. It's crazy when you look at the first Fast and Furious, how it started off. That was somewhat realism, but still a bunch of nonsense, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And what I love about this movie is it's in that realm, but they find new ways to make it bigger and more exciting. And for me at least, and I don't consider myself ADD, for me at least, I was definitely entertained. Maybe there was too much flashing going everywhere where it was like hard to keep up. I don't know.
No, there was a lot that the camera angles, I'm not this kind of guy. I'm not the kind of guy who's like, oh, the camera angles were amazing.
Cinematography.
You know, just, that was me pushing up my imaginary glasses. Now, the camera angles were just too close. I felt like it was like this, and they could have done this, and it would have been just as effective. Just as effective, but still good for what I had.
Yeah, we're not going to get into any spoilers whatsoever, so you're in a spoiler-free zone. There's a lot of spoilers to give. There's some fun, I'll just say, cameos in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's the best part of the movie.
2 in particular, and they were both excellent. I felt like, especially with the second cameo, it was put in there at a time where it might have started to get a little weird and awkward, just a little slow down, and then this person pops in and it kind of like rejuvenates you as you're watching it. But not to get too far off track, with this movie, it gives us a plot, it gives us a story, it does a nice, decent job of cementing it in the beginning, even though it was very formulaic with, let's get their backstories a little bit. But it starts off, and it's not really a big spoiler because it's the first 10 minutes of the movie, it starts off with what's Hobbs doing, what's Shaw doing, and they're very similar even though they're very different, and I really, really like that aspect. There's a lot of trash talking in this movie. It was my favorite part. That's why I love the movie The Breakup, because Vince Vaughn is just a trash talk master when he's playing his video games. But there's a lot of trash talk in this movie, and I personally never got sick of it. We took my younger son there, and he said it was just too much trash talk. I think you feel like maybe it was a little too much.
It wasn't that there was too much trash talk. The amount of trash talk was good. I felt like it was about 50% of it was kind of contrived. It's kind of forced.
Yeah.
I feel like.
But again, I think that's what Fast and the Furious, they have created this universe where we just accept the nonsense.
Well, no, they definitely do. And that Fast and Furious gets away with it.
Yes. In any other movie, it would be like, oh, man. Now, there's definitely some parts in this movie that weren't my favorite. But overall, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought I would. I was thinking to myself, this is going to be the biggest action movie ever. It did slow down at certain parts where it wasn't just constant stunt here and there. But I enjoyed this movie overall. I feel like there was enough surprises in there. Like those cameos were really cool. There was different things going on. Vanessa Kirby, who plays, what's her name in the movie?
I just know her as The
She's-
hot spy.
Yeah.
That's all I know her
She played
as.
the blonde girl in the last Mission Impossible movie.
Okay.
I don't want to give away her last name because that might be a spoiler too. But Vanessa Kirby's in this movie, and I thought she did a fantastic job. I loved her in Fallout. I thought she was great. I'd never seen her before. Maybe she's on some show on HBO. I have no idea. But I thought she was great in this. And then, of course, you have Jason Statham and you have The Rock. They all do a great job. And then it's in the trailer when they go to Samoa. I actually kind of like that stuff. They show you the scene in the trailer where they get to the weapons and it's just like spears and whatnot. I actually liked that element where let's fight just with our fist and not with all this crazy high-tech gadget stuff.
Personally, that part of the movie, that whole portion of the movie was probably my favorite portion of the movie because it had a lot more heart in it. There was, anytime you're not using guns, you're just using hand-to-hand combat, especially with The Rock. With a bunch of Samoans, we've all seen this in the trailer. They've got these old school weapons. It's amazing. They got some Samoan culture in there, which is really cool to see as well. So that was definitely the best part of the movie for me.
But I feel like with this movie, you go into it, definitely get your popcorn ready, get your snacks ready. You're going to be enjoying yourself the entire time. There are some parts where it slows down a little bit, so if you need to run to the restroom, go for it. But for the most part, it's a very enjoyable movie. It's a very enjoyable story, and I am looking forward to what happens next.
Are there going to be more of them? I was wondering.
I felt like they set it up.
Well, they definitely set it up, and I feel like as many Fast and Furious movies as there have been, why would they stop now?
They can't stop. and it's going to make a lot of this. And
why would they stop now?
I think the man's name is Chris Morgan, who wrote Fast and Furious, I believe, was 3 through at least 7 or 8. He co-wrote this movie, so they definitely had that feeling there.
No, there were definitely aspects where you're like, oh, okay, I see where the Fast and Furious part of it is in here. But yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, but I'm watching this movie and I'm like, that was lame, or that was lame, or that was easy, or that was easy. But I had to keep reminding myself, it's Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
But overall, my grade for Hobbs and Shaw, I really enjoyed it. But my biggest drawback with why I'm not going to give it a huge grade is because at the end of the day, it is still a forgettable action film. I'm not going to remember it in a few months. I'm not going to have to need it once it comes out on Blu-ray. I will watch it again, and I'll enjoy myself. But it's not the greatest action movie I've seen like Fallout was last year. So I'm going to give Hobbs and Shaw a B. Solid B. A solid B.
That's generous. I
Wow.
give it a solid C. But I give it a C. I give it a C plus because of the heart that has in it in the second half of the movie. So there was a lot of things, a lot of writing that could have been better. There were plot holes that I feel like they just ignored, especially the main one. I feel like they just stretched that out. You'll see what I'm talking about. But
butter over too much bread.
Yeah, too much bread. Thank you, Bilbo. Anyways, but yeah, definitely a solid C for the quality, but because of the heart, it gets that extra plus.
C plus. There you have it. All right, well, there you have it. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to please subscribe to the Boring Review channel. It really helps us to grow. Give us a thumbs up if you liked our review. And check out other content that we have on the channel. We got some trailer reactions on there. Him and Gabe did a review on The Boys. Did a great job talking about that show on Amazon. Give that a check out. And until next time,
Adios.
Boy Reviews!